You're listening to Power Plug Radio, home of your throwback jams. You're listening to Power Plug Radio, home of your throwback jams.
Good morning. Good morning. We are back for another Saturday. It is the Power Plug Radio Jumpstart Your Business with Stephanie A. Wynn business segment, and we are in the building. Today is Saturday. Thank you all for tuning in. Super excited to be in the building. So During this Power Hour, we will cover business topics that will assist those who are seeking to start their business or those who are in the business but seem stuck. So let's get right into it. So the weather for today in St. Petersburg, Florida, it looks like it's overcast, but the high is 79. I think the low is going to be 71. Come on, summer, because I'm waiting for you. I just need a little bit of sunshine today. It's a little bit gloomy, overcast. We're supposed to be getting some rain, I think tomorrow or later today, but a little bit of showers. But anywho, just enjoy your day today. So let's get started. So I want to, we lost the hip hop legend DMX. Should send a shout out to the family. Rest in peace, DMX. What was your favorite DMX song? Like, it was so many, like, woo. So I just want to send a shout out to those that are listening online, Facebook Live, Facebook page, Power Plug Radio. Shout out to the listeners that's listening to powerplugradio.com. Alexa, Google Play, and Apple. Thank you all for tuning in. So we're going to get started. But before we get started with this week's topic, what did you do this week for your self-care day? Did you plan a spa day? Did you take a time away from your cell phone, shut it off, cut it off? Did you just have a woosah hour, power hour? What did you do? So let's get started. I want to talk about this week's topic. It is going to be, are you clear about your business? And then I'm going to also give some tips on the PPP, which is the Payroll Protection Program for my business owners. So we're going to do that. But before we get started, starting a business can be exciting and scary at the same time. But before you start any business, you want to start with the renewing of your mind. And what is that? That's where you have a growth mindset. Sometimes, it's, starting a business can be scary. So oftentimes we have a fixed mindset where we, self-sabotage things, or we say that, I should have been successful by now. The money isn't coming in like it should. I should have accomplished success by now. And that's not how it works sometimes. Sometimes we have to put in work, and we work while we wait, right? So you want to have a growth mindset where you are always looking to develop yourself individually and on the business side, right? So we just want to have a different mindset. You can't expect new results with the same mindset, right? If you have a fixed mindset, you're going to reap the same results, fixed results. So we're going to dive right into this week's topic. I'm super excited. This is Saturday. Can you believe it? We're on Saturday, April the 17th. We're almost through this month. Can you believe that? Whew, man. It is definitely it's definitely time waits for no one. So so this week topic, I want to talk about the first half. We're going to talk about, are you clear on your business? Are you clear about your business? Like, do you know exactly what it is you do? Do you? So for those who have a service-based business or a product-based business, when someone asks about your business, do they actually, oh yeah, that's the lady, I know she does something, but I'm not just quite sure what it is she do, right? Your audience should be clear on what it is you do. Like, what is it that you exactly, like, if I look at your Instagram, if I look at your LinkedIn, and you say that you're let's say you're a creative, we're going to say you're a brand, you do brand development, but your website says you do something other than what you stated on LinkedIn or any of your other social media platforms, that is where the confusion comes in. So if you are say you're a makeup artist, you do makeup, you do lashes, you do all of these things, but your website says that you do dermaplaning, microderm abrasions, and you do facials. Well, but your social media, you're just focused on makeup artists, like makeup. It has nothing to do with facials or skincare. But your website says the skincare, right? So we want to make sure that you're clear on what it is that you're actually doing. Like, are you truly clear about what you're doing? Like, what is it that you're doing? Like, we let's dive into that. Like, what is it? What do you do? What do you do? Do you just make up the rules as you go about what you do? And some people do that. Like, they do. They make up the rules as they go. And I don't know if we talked about this last week. For the month of April, I'm like diving deep about confidence, like building your confidence. And a part of understanding what it is that you do is having confidence to know exactly what you do as a business owner. So if someone came to you for a service, you should already know exactly what service you are providing them, right? So let's get into this topic. I want to dive deep into this topic. Like, what service or what product or service do you offer? So let's chop this down. What is one service that you can do in your sleep with your eyes closed? A product that you sell. You know how you could do this. You could sell this one thing in your sleep with your eyes closed. Nobody coaching you. Nobody's, holding you accountable to sell this one thing. What is that very thing that you can sell without anyone telling you how to do it? And when we talk about that, like, so I'm an author. I'm an author of the book Ready, Set, Go. Now, Ready, Set, Go is a business self-help book, right? So everybody knows that Stephanie A. Wynn, she's an author. That's the lady that wrote the business self-help book. She has a book. She's an author. She's an entrepreneur. They know that. There's no uncertainty because they know. Same thing. So I want to talk to my author friends, because when you're introducing your book, and you're telling your tribe what your book is about, how are you introducing that? How are you introducing yourself? Do you have your 30-second elevator pitch together? And not just for my authors, for my business, my entrepreneurs, even the startups, like my newly entrepreneurs that are just starting out. Like, how are you introducing yourself to your audience? Do they know exactly what you do? If you have a service, right? You have a service and you know that there's a need for your service and people will buy what you're selling because you truly believe that it's of value, but nobody knows truly where you are. Like, that's because you don't have brand awareness. They're not aware that you exist. And they're not clear that you do this very thing. So let's talk about it. Right? Let's talk about this very thing. How does your tribe know where you are? Hey, Renee, thanks for tuning in. You Renee with everything. No, but Renee, Renee said she does everything. Yes, Renee, but one thing they know is that you're an entrepreneur, right? And you have the skin candy. Like, I know that. I know that. There's no questioning about, well, I think she does this or that. They know exactly what it is. Skin candy, right? Because you branded yourself that way. Velma, good morning. Good morning, Velma. Yeah, so again, how does your tribe know exactly what you do? Like, they need to know, because if your sales have died down, maybe they're not clear as that you have this particular service or product available. So we got to get clear, right? Does that make sense, y'all? Like, put a thumbs up in the Facebook Live if you understand. Like, they need to know like what it is you do. I know Velma sell jewelry. That I do know. Like, so they've made it clear as to what they do in their business. Now, let's break this down for my healthcare entrepreneurs that are, independent contractors. And you have a service that you provide. You have a business, right, where you do home health, or you are maybe you're just a caregiver. How does one know that you offer these services? Do you advertise them, or do you? I mean, if you're 1099, like you consider an independent contractor. So how does one know that you offer these services? A lot of people have parents who are getting, they're up in age. And so they may need someone that is really genuine and love what they do to care for their parents. But if we don't know that you offer this service or product, how do we know to support what you have? Does that make sense? Like, we have to get out of our own way. And that's why I'm having this Jumpstart Your Business with Confidence Masterclass, because I think that it's that fear of failure has really, really made people scared of stepping out and believing in themselves enough to know that they can do this very thing. Right? So, come on, people have to know what you do. We need to know what you do. And then once we find out and get clear on what it is that you do, then now there's no opportunity for confusion. Like, nobody can say, well, I didn't know you had that. You're quite clear. It's crystal clear as to what you're doing. So yeah. But so if you want to dial in and chime in on a discussion, 727-686-0512. Join the discussion. Like, the executive producers of the radio show, Chandra, has her Urban Drinkery. And I always like to use Chandra's Urban Drinkery because when I walked in the studio today, Chandra has her lemon basil, a bottle. And it's really like, it's clear what she do. Now, she wears many hats, but her Urban Drinkery shows like that's her product, that's her brand, that's what she's doing, right? So again, we just want to bring these good tips to you all so that you all can, understand, like, you have to be your audience, your tribe, your followers, whatever you call your people that support your brand. They need to be clear on what it is that you do. So if you have webinars, master classes, web shows, Facebook Lives. I mean, if you're doing these in front of your audience, like, they need to be clear of what it is that you're offering them. Like, do they understand what you're going to be giving? Do they understand the value of what it is that you're selling? So I want to talk about Starbucks, because Starbucks, they make it clear as to the value of buying their coffee. Why it costs what it costs, because it's the value. Like, you're buying into their brand. It's the brand. You want some premium coffee, gourmet coffee, go to Starbucks. They're gonna give you what you want. Now there are other coffee shops local that you can, support. But for the purpose of the example, Starbucks makes it clear as to what it is that they're doing. Like they know what they're doing. So this has been like a topic that I always like to talk about because I get calls all the time like, do you think I can do this very thing? Do you think this is going to work? And it will only work if you truly believe in yourself. And it will only work if you are clear as to what you're doing. I'm just saying. So the next question is like, what are you doing to make sure your tribe understands what you're providing? Like, are you preparing, like, do you market? Do you have marketing tools and resources in place to brand yourself accordingly about what it is you're offering? What is it that you're providing, right? Like, are you confident to know what you're providing? Like, do you know what it is that you're providing? Are you confident enough to know to explain this to your audience? So what are you doing? Like, let's talk about confidence. Like, confidence can be one of those challenging traits to acquire because it requires you to feel or believe that you can rely on someone or something. So, let's talk about confidence. Confidence is all built around, like, are you clear about your business? Having the confidence to know, like, I am Stephanie A. Wynn. I'm an author, right? And I believe in my book. I'm an author of Ready, Set, Go, a simple guide to establishing a successful small business. And I'm an author of that book. And that book has some tips to help those who are wanting to start their business, right? But you have to be accountable. If you want to start a business, you have to have the confidence to know that your business is going to succeed. Now, I get it that when we start the business, we're not quite sure as to where we're going, right? Because it's the fear of the unknown. But that's why you have a plan in place. You have a marketing strategy in place so that people can truly understand who you are and what it is that you do. And it's all centered around having confidence to do this very thing. Yesterday on my podcast, I talked about getting out of your own way. And sometimes that be the problem. We are in our own way. We overthink things. We as individuals, because it's human, it's just humanly we don't give ourselves enough credit. Am I doing this the right? Am I doing the right thing? Is this gonna work? And you got to keep in mind, like, I'm going to go back to that example my parents gave me when I started my ice cream shop back in the day. If only one person show up, your business was successful. If only one person shows up. And so from that gave me okay, if only one person, because what you got to keep in mind, you may be only assigned to that one person for that day. And we get so caught up in the numbers. Yeah, the numbers are good. We need to know our numbers. But at the end of the day, what we really need to know the most is can we do this very thing? Do we believe enough in this very thing, this business, to move forward? I'm just saying. So you all can chime in if you want to. Dial in 727-686-0512. What's your thoughts on, are you clear about your business? Like, do you know what are your thoughts? You can call in and, give your thoughts or your opinion on this topic. Because the key is, if you go to any retail store, Target or Publix, when we go to Target, we know what we're getting in Target, right? When you go to Publix tagline, shopping is your pleasure. Like, where shopping is your pleasure. Like that is their tagline. So you know when you go to Publix what type of products you're going to receive. I'm going into Publix to get groceries, um, quality groceries. Not to say that the other grocery stores don't have quality groceries, but the level of it's the experience at Publix, right? It's the experience versus going to Walmart. You getting a cheaper version of this product, but the experience isn't. And I know you all that are listening, you all can agree with me. Sometimes the customer service at Walmart is not always on point. I don't know why, but it's just like that sometimes. Sometimes they have just one lane open, you know. So I'm just saying, like the difference. I use those two as an analogy because we are clear on when we go to Walmart what we're gonna get. We're gonna get things for discounted price. We know when we go to Publix, we're gonna get quality things that are of much more value than Walmart. And we go to Target, we know exactly what we're getting. There's no haggling prices in either store, right? So I'm just saying, we got to do better. So to do better, we got to have the confidence to know that we could do better. And how do we do that? Just simply start by writing out a plan. So what time is it? Okay. So for the first half, I want to give the business tip takeaways for the first half of this session, because next half, we're going to talk about the PPP and give you some tips on submitting your application and go from there. Okay. So are you clear about your business, right? I want you all to get clarity about what service or products that you offer. That's number one. Like, get clarity about what service or product do you offer. That's tip one. Tip number two, right? Make sure your audience understands what exactly it is you do. Make sure your audience understand what exactly it is you do. Number three, write down your products and services so that you understand what you do. So sometimes, I'm gonna give a shout out to Velma. Velma says, yes, Walmart customer service is definitely not as good as Publix. I'm here to tell you. We all know that. Like, come on now. So what I'm saying is this. We all say, oh, I made a mental note of what I do. No, write it down. Because if somebody called me today and asked me what I do, I can tell them without looking at anything. I can tell them. You want to know exactly, you want to see what it is that you do. Yeah, we have it in our mind, but write it down so you can actually see exactly what it is, what services you offer, what products you offer, so that you are clear about what you're doing. And make sure that what you write down is the same as what you have on your website and all of your social media platforms. So now you're consistent across all platforms. There's nobody guessing as to what it is you do. Does that make sense? Okay, so we're going to take a quick break, a little pause for the calls, and we're going to come back. And then we're going to talk about the PPP. So get your pens, your paper out. Because I'm going to be dropping some tips. I'm going to drop some lenders that I know are funding. And so it's just some good stuff. We'll be back.
You're listening to Power Plug Radio, home of your throwback jams. You're listening to Power Plug Radio, home of your throwback jams.
All right, we are back. We had to take a little break, but this half of the Jumpstart Your Business with Stephanie A. Wynn is going to be really good because we're going to talk about the Payroll Protection Program. And I just really want to help my people get, assistance with their business and get it done the right way. There are so many people that are, doing a wonderful job. I want to send a shout out to those that are helping our community with getting, with submitting their PPP. But I also want to put this disclaimer out. Just be careful and do your due diligence because there's a lot of people that are putting these business owners in tax implication situations, like skewing the numbers. And what's going to happen is you are putting that person in a tax issue like you're going to have some problems. So if you're skewing the numbers and your numbers that you file with your tax return doesn't match up, trust and believe me. Trust me when I tell you this. The IRS will come for you. I'm saying, because those numbers are not aligning with what you filed. If your 2019 tax return is different than what you have currently on that Schedule C, when you submit your PPP application, yes, I've spoken to the representatives at the SBA, and they said that it's so much fraud going on. And if that's what you do, that's your thing. But for my business owners that have worked hard for their businesses, that have worked hard to do this very thing that they're passionate about, trust and believe me, you do not want to go down that slippery slope. And I'm not calling nobody out. I'm just saying, because I want my people to get the assistance that they need. The system they're going to calculate what you get anyway. So just do the right thing. So it's better to do the right thing than to have to go back and have to clean it up and get your numbers right. And then you don't have to pay all this taxes that you owe, So I just want to go over some things with regarding the PPP. So what is the Payroll Protection Program? That is a loan designated to provide a direct incentive for small businesses to keep their workers on payroll. So the Payroll Protection Plan is an SBA-backed loan that helps businesses keep their workforce employed during the COVID-19 crisis, right? So remember, and all of this information is on the SBA.gov website. It's on their website. You can get this same information, and I beg you to go and do your due diligence. Go and research and read for yourself. Don't go by nobody's Facebook post, Instagram post, or whatever, wherever you're getting your information. Go directly to the source. That's what they're there for. There's even a 1-800 number. You can call any question that you have. They will answer that for you. They've opened it up for people with side hustles, like they call it gig workers, GIG workers. So if you're a 1099, you have a 1099, you can apply for the PPP. You just have to have your documentation in order. What documentation? Well, it depends on what type of business you are. If you're a 1099, you got to have a 1099. If you have an S corp, you need to have your 1120S. If you are a LLC, you need to have your Schedule C, profit and loss, right? I'm just saying, I'm just here to give you just these tips. And I want you all to be great at what you do. So with this PPP, the Payroll Protection Plan, you need to apply by May 31st. If you're wanting to get assistance, you need to go ahead and apply and follow up. If you've already submitted your application, you haven't heard anything, make sure you're doing follow up, because remember, they've received, that lender, whoever you submitted your application through, they received so many applications. So send your inquiry to check the status of your application. I'm going to drop 3 lenders that I know are paying, like they're paying out, so that you all can definitely get the help that you need. Again, I'm only bringing you tips and resources for you to use, and go and do your due diligence. Go and check. You want to know if it's the truth? I get this directly from the source. I don't go by what somebody else is doing or what they say they can do and promise what they say they can get back. No, I get calls all the time. I can't guarantee you anything. I can't guarantee that you can walk out the door and live. But I can guarantee you that we all have an expiration date. That I can guarantee. But if you do your research yourself, you will find that the information that's needed, it's not that hard. It's a few documents. So the first lender I'm going to talk about is SmartBiz, smartbiz.com. They're really good. I know that they do fund quickly. It is taking a little longer because a lot of people are submitting a lot of applications, right? So I want to say this. When you submit your application to SmartBiz is just like the middleman, right? Third party. They're the lender. They submit your application to the SBA for approval. Like, it has to go through them first. So before they'll approve, move it along, right? I'm just saying. It goes to the SBA. People think that, I'm going to send it to this lender and that lender. You can send it to however many lenders you want to send it to, but it's still going to the SBA. Each lender is going to run your application through the SBA. Don't think so? Call the lender. They'll tell you the same thing. That is why it's taking a little bit longer, because on the back end, the SBA is looking at these applications to double check to see if you have gotten an SBA loan or if you have received a PPP in the past. I'm just saying. So smartbiz.com. And number 2, the second lender is you can go to your local bank. So if you have a credit union, I do know for the Pinellas County, St. Petersburg area, Growth Financial, I know Republic Bank, Wells Fargo, like a lot of other banks are doing like the PPP application, right? So go and check out your local bank, see if they have the application available for you to apply. Again, it's simple. Like, all you have to do is do your research. It's the information is out there. It's not a lie. It's not a scam. Now, there are scam artists out here. They are. And when I tell you, I had a conversation with the SBA representative that they're double checking and triple checking. They are, because there's so much fraud going on. And so people aren't getting the funding right away. It's taking a little bit longer because of this very reason. So don't go by what other people say. Go get the information directly from the source. Go to the SBA website and the information is there. It's there. They've opened it up for people with side hustles, gigs, 1099, because they know, the government know that those people didn't have their stuff together to get this funding. Like, think about it. A lot of us don't have our files together. We just don't. And it's not that we don't want to have our files and paperwork together. It's just that we don't know how to go about doing it. So my advice to you would be, when you apply for these grants, the PPP, the EIDLs, you want to make sure you have your paperwork together. And what I mean by that, I mean you need to invest in a record keeper who can help you start keeping record of your documentation. Bookkeeper, right? That will keep record of your things. And then invest in a good accountant. Like, come on, we invest in so much other things. But if you believe in your business, it's time when you say, I got to level up. Yeah, this is leveling up. Getting your paperwork in order. making sure that you have the right information, you have the right paperwork, it lines up. So when you go and apply, you don't have to worry about skewing the numbers or lying on your application. It's there. It's there. Everything is in order. So the lenders are smartbiz.com. Apply at your local bank, credit union, banks or credit union. And number 3, Square Capital. If you have a Square account, Square Capital is lending as well, and they're funding. I'm just saying, if you use Square as your payment processor, or maybe PayPal, I didn't check into PayPal, but I do know Square Capital is lending and they're funding. Check them out as well. These are just a few lenders. There are many, many more. I've heard of Blue Acorn. I've heard of there's Biz to Credit. There are so many lenders out here. And if you go to the SBA website and you type in your zip code, they will provide you with the PIN number, and you can download the list of lenders in your area. I'm just saying. So remember, the Paycheck Protection Program is an SBA-backed loan that helps businesses keep their workforce employed during the COVID-19 crisis. And they have a portion of, so you can apply for forgiveness as long as you meet the criteria, the forgiveness criteria. And all of this is on the website, the SBA website. It's not a scam. It's on their website of how to apply for the forgiveness. And if you don't know, like if you want to reach out and ask questions, I'll do my best to help you. Again, it's time for us to start reading. Read to understand. Like read to understand. The lenders are smartbiz.com. Number 2, apply to your local bank and credit union. Number 3, Square Capital. And there are many, many more. To get a list of these lenders, go to the SBA website, enter your zip code, and you can download a list of the lenders. I'm just saying. I mean, it is a loan. It is a loan, right? But you can be forgiven of the loan if you meet the criteria. So if you're applying for the PPP for payroll, you would make sure that you pay yourself back. The purpose of that is for you to pay yourself back or your employees. See, where we get into, and I just got to say this, they are watching how you spend these funds. So if you get in money and you go and you buy a car, but you told them that you're using this for payroll, you're going to jail. I'm just saying. They coming for you. And it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Again, if you tell them that you're needing these funds for payroll or business expenditures, use it for that. Pay yourself your payroll. Get your business expenses together and pay those. It's not hard. It's like, really, it's not hard. We need to start paying attention, and we need to start reading more. People perish due to lack of knowledge. And if you don't pay attention, come on now. We need to start paying more attention now than ever before. So if you need the help, you need the funding. And I know some people, I tried to apply, they denied me. Okay. Yeah. All they can do is tell you yes or no. You submitted. Did you submit your paperwork? Did you submit the right paperwork? Do you have the right paperwork together? Do you even have your paperwork together? And most of the time it's because we don't have our paperwork together. We got to get our paperwork together. If you don't have your paperwork together, there are bookkeepers, people who will keep records of your documentation, get you set up the right way. Come on, we got to do better. We got to do better. We will knock something down that we've never tried. We will say, oh, that doesn't work, and you've never tried it. Oh, I don't never get a grant. I don't never get a loan. They always deny me. Now is the time for you to level up. Get your paperwork documentation in order the right way. We're not talking about scamming. We're not talking about skewing the numbers. If you had income during February of 2020 as an entrepreneur, submit your paperwork. You can apply, because they're going to ask you these same questions. They're going to ask you, did you apply? Do you have an SBA loan on the application? Did you apply for, did you receive funding from the PPP first draw? These are questions that they ask. They ask you eligibility questions on those websites that I provided. Smartbiz.com, Square Capital. I'm just saying. So, you guys, listen. You can't say something didn't work if you didn't put in the effort and time to get this information and do it the right way. We got to stop saying that, oh, it doesn't work if you've never tried, if you never put forth an effort. And that's what it's going to require. Entrepreneurship is all about time and effort. Time and effort. And investing in the very thing that you want to do. So, we've reached that part of the radio. I want to thank you all for tuning in. PowerPlugRadio.com. Is it YouTube, Apple, Google Play, Alexa. Listen, thank you all. Facebook Live. Thank you all for tuning in on this Saturday morning. Come to the point of the ships, right? So at some point on your entrepreneurship journey, right, you're going to encounter many ships, like ship, the boat. That can be entrepreneurship, a partnership, companionship, relationship, friendships. You're going to encounter one of those ships, right? But before you, whatever ship you choose, right, you want to make sure that your ship is solid. I mean, solid. And for the purposes of this episode, I'm saying, number one, get clear on who you are in your business and what it is that you do. Get clear about your business. And number two, for the purposes of the PPP, you have until May 31st. Get your paperwork in order so that your ship does not sink. You have your paperwork together. There's no holes in the business part. That's the foundation of building your business. Having your paperwork together. So with that being said, I want to thank you for tuning in to Power Plug Radio, the home of the Throwback Jams. I am your host, Stephanie A. Wynn. Be sure to check out the Morning Crew next week. They're Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Fridays live on Power Plug Radio. Until next time, have a great weekend.
You're listening to Power Plug Radio, home of your throwback jams.